Record. There we go.
Recording in progress.
All right. Did we do any lighting of candles, or should we just basically start from the beginning?
We're starting at the beginning.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you all for joining us at Summit Center for Spiritual Living, where we share universal good through love. And I'm just going to wait and just imagine that we lit a candle because that represents God, and that we light another candle, and that represents us as God and community. So, anyways, we shine a greater light whenever we come together, and John's going to sing a song for us.
All right. Is it up on the screen?
It's up on the screen.
Oh, okay. Here we are for being together, for good, for better, forever. Here we are together, for being, for good, for better. Here we are for healing together, for good, for better, forever. Here we are together, for healing, for good, for better. Here we are for wisdom together, for good, for better, forever. Here we are together, for wisdom, for good. Here we are for joy together, for good, for better, forever. Here we are together, for joy, for good, for better. Here we are, here we are.
All right. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. And again, I apologize for a little late start, but we have Carol Ann who is speaking today on Trick or Treat. So I'm happy about that. We will decide afterwards who's going to be speaking the following week. And why is this thing is going to? I hope this is not showing up on the camera.
We're not seeing anything but you.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. All right. So it's just driving me crazy because it keeps popping up. So, all right. Anyways, so it is Halloween time. So, we'll get started on. I don't know if you guys saw Michael waved in for a second because he's going to be talking for.
I thought he was still at beer camp.
No, he's back from that. So this time he's speaking for
okay.
a friend of his for another service. So I believe they're in Florida, maybe. I'm not sure. I know that wherever they are at, they are same time zone, and they start at 11. So, anyways, all right. So we'll get started. John, if you want to lead us into meditation, and
All right. We are the radiant pulse. 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 We are the heart of life. Are the heart of life. We are the heart of life. We are the heart of life. Are the bliss of joy. We are the bliss of joy. We are the bliss of joy. We are the bliss of joy. Are the presence of peace. We are the presence of peace. We are the presence of peace. We are the presence of peace. Are the power of love. Are the power of love. We are the power of love. Are the power of love.
and knowing that we are the radiant light, the power of love. I know for each and every one of us that Spirit, God, the all that is here in the midst of us and is with us always. For God is love and peace, joy and wisdom, power and beauty, life and light, love. So I am so grateful and thankful that Spirit is everything, is in everything and as everything. Spirit is always expressing the beauty of the trees right now, the wonderful colors, the colors of the sky. Even if it's cloudy and gray, it's still beautiful. Or the bright sunshine when we happen to have it, whatever it may be, it's gorgeous. We are very blessed by the beauty that surrounds us. But we also are blessed by the beauty that's within us, which is Spirit. For Spirit is always in us and as us and with us. God is there. And because of this, we are one with all that God is. We are one with nature. We are one with each other. We are one with love, light, life, joy, peace, beauty, power, and wisdom. We are one with all that God is. So as we have our meeting today, our gathering known as Summit Center for Spiritual Living, I am just thankful and grateful for each and every person. Grateful and thankful for Lan being our speaker today, for John doing the music, for Kyle being here, for Hannah doing the Facebook feed. I know Michael is, even though he's going to be off and about doing his other thing, he's with us as well. And Sean and Diana, I'm sure they're still enjoying Brazil, but they should be back soon. So hopefully we'll have them back. And anybody else that wants to join us is welcome. Whether you see us on screen or off the screen, we invite you to be here each and every week. So knowing that this time together is a place of healing, a place of joy, a time of beauty, I am just grateful and thankful for all the good that is happening right here and right now. All the good. I know that, once again, that anyone who may need any healing, whatever it may be, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, it's being met right now. It is being taken care of right now, in this very moment. So for this, I give thanks. I give thanks for all the good. Give thanks for our wonderful community. I give thanks for Carol Ann doing the speaking and John doing the music. I give thanks for all the good that's happening right here, right now. So I release my word into the law, knowing I spoke it, so it's done. So it is.
We are radiant pulse. We are the radiant pulse. We are the radiant pulse. We are radiant pulse.
All right. Thank you, John. And as you open your eyes and come back to the room, please take a moment to look into the camera and to try to see looking at everybody's eyes and see the magnificence of spirit within each and every one of them. And I like this. This is my favorite part of the whole service. Well, thank you everyone for opening up your cameras and let me get to see your beautiful eyes. I appreciate that. All right. Okay. So at this point, I get to introduce Carol Ann. Carol Ann, thank you. Your meditation last week was fabulous. It really was. And anyway, so I know you're going to be talking about trick or treat, but I'm going to let you do whatever you normally do, and I'm going to thank you for being here, and thank you for being a wonderful friend and that you are and being a part of our community. We appreciate that.
Well, thank you. And isn't it wonderful? Fall. Oh my goodness. Here it is. And in just a few days, the highlight in every child's life in my area is trick or treat. I mean, and if you look at it, it's fall. It is definitely fall. And it's a time for harvesting the last of the fruits and vegetables outside. When I grew up, this was the time that we had bonfires, and we had fires every week in the driveway because our driveway were dirt driveways, and we burned our leaves. And in the evening, around dusk, you could look down the street and you could see the different fires in the driveways of the neighborhood. And it was also a time for roasting marshmallows and, yes, Halloween. Remember growing up? Remember how Halloween. For me, I wanted to be a pilgrim. I wanted to be a pilgrim many years, and my mother, in her great wisdom, made me a gray pilgrim's dress, and she put very deep seams in it and a very deep hem. So each year she could let it out a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more until I decided I didn't want to be a pilgrim anymore. And I lived in a neighborhood, and the only rule we had for Halloween was you can only go to houses of people that you know. So my friend and I, we decided that walking to school, when we knew Halloween was coming, and walking home, if we saw anyone out in their yard and we didn't know them, and even if we did know them, we'd say, "Hi, I'm Carol Ann. I live down the street." And then we would think we were thinking we were real smart because we could say, "I know this person. I know this person," type of thing. And think about the candy that you got at Halloween. You got candy. You got regular size candy bars. There were candied apples. There were popcorn balls. I had one lady that always made brownies, and you got a little bag with brownies. And we got, oh my goodness, we got the most rich, wonderful candy. We didn't get very much, but it was just so exciting. And even the high school was very diligent at Halloween. They always had a Halloween dance. The junior high school had one, and the senior high school had one, and it lasted until 10 o'clock. And it was over at 10 o'clock because high school students and the junior high had to be home by 11. I mean, this just was kind of the rule, and it was a small enough town that everybody knew everyone, so people would know who didn't get home on time. How much of that has changed? And yet Halloween is still something that, as I am preparing for it and getting ready for it, I'm going to be a purple witch this year. We've got Glenda the Good Witch and the Bad Witch. Well, I'm going to be the Purple Witch. And I have a witch's hat, and it is purple, and it has suns and moons on it. And it's fun to sit outside and give out the candy. But when you think about Halloween, I always like to go back and look at the origins. And Halloween is actually a Celtic tradition, and the Celts lived in Scotland, Wales, Ireland, and Brittany. And it really started with the festival of Samhain. And that was and nowadays it is seen as a pagan religious celebration. And I stopped when I was looking at that, and I thought, well, I've never looked up the definition of pagan. We don't use that word very much anymore. So, it's kind of always to me had kind of a bad connotation. And I discovered that is simply a person with religious beliefs other than the main ones that everybody knows about. And got rid of one of those old thinking patterns that I had. So the festival of Samhain was twofold. It was to welcome the harvest at the end of the summer. And if you'll remember back into, the centuries after Christ, people were mainly farmers and they were farming communities. So it was welcoming the harvest at the end of summer, and people would light bonfires, and they were huge bonfires because they were done in a field and they were easily very, very, very wide. They could easily be 10, 14 feet wide. And, that is a huge bonfire, and easily the flames could go up more than a story of a house. And they also wore costumes at the time because they were to ward off the ghosts or the bad spirits. They didn't want them to recognize them because back in those very early days, the night was a mystery. It was the unknown, and it was also seen as bad. You needed to stay in. You needed only to go out if you had to. And then in the 8th century BC, we're in the 21st century, but back in the 8th century, Pope Gregory III had a brilliant idea. He designated the first day in November, November 1st, the day after Halloween, as All Saints' Day. And he included some of the traditions of Samhain. Think about that. That was such an incredibly wise thing to do. And many missionaries are successful when they realize you don't go in and say, no, 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 this is all wrong. You have to do it this way. They move in and they acknowledge what is going on. And then they gently add Christianity, or they gently add what they want to add. Very wise. And when I was thinking about that, I realized that is really a form of Aikido. In Aikido, the object is to meet what is coming to forward at you and gently move it away from yourself. My dad was a boxer in college. And so when we were growing up on Saturday evening, after you got your bath and you were in your PJs, you go downstairs and he would show us how to box. And he'd say, now look, hold your hands up like this, hold them up like this. And he says, I'm going to try to hit your face. And so, he'd come in and he'd say, now look, don't hold your hands there. When you see it coming, whichever side of your face it's on, gently meet it and move it to the side. And this is exactly what we do when we come face to face in a situation. Rather than standing and resisting, we simply blend and help it move to the side so it passes by us. Let's see. And even before All Saints' Day, Halloween was also known as All Hallows Eve. We can hear Halloween in that, All Hallows Eve. And this was a time that they believed that spirits who have lost their way and were still walking on the earth needed help. And that was the idea of the big bonfire, to move into the light, so that they would find their way home, and then they no longer had to walk in the shadows on earth. Compare that today. It's a beautiful example, as I said earlier, about taking a celebration and morphing it and morphing it until it loses its original meaning. My mother's family, the Smiths, had a yearly Smith family reunion. And as a little girl, we went every year. We packed up our things. We went back to the middle of Pennsylvania, stayed with cousins and aunts and uncles, and we had this incredible picnic close to the homestead where the Smiths used to live. And the main dish that everybody brought was chicken corn soup, the original chicken corn soup, which was chicken and corn, fresh chicken, fresh corn. You prepare it get up early on the day and you prepare it to bring it. And of course, everybody's tasting everyone else. And I remember at one point my aunt, who was not a Smith, she put onion in it and she put bits of carrots in it. Oh my. I mean, it was a talk of, and then we're talking about, 6 children having children and having children. So it was a large, it was a large reunion. When the Smiths who started it died, and we're talking about there were usually about 3 to 4 generations there. When they died, they kept it up for a year, 2 years, and then slowly they said, let's do it every other year. Let's do it and finally it just morphed and disappeared. Today, what does trick or treat mean to kids? It means putting on a costume, saying trick or treat and getting candy. All they have to do is say trick or treat and people give them candy. Wow. I mean, I love when the little ones come to the house and they look up and they'll say trick or treat. And I will show them the candy and say, which piece would you like? And they turn around and they look at their mom and their mom says, it's okay, you can take one. And it's like, whoa, this is pretty cool. Can you imagine going to all these houses? All you have to do is say trick or treat and get candy. I think to me, think that's pretty awesome. I know I was always excited. I mean, how much better can it get than saying a few words and you get candy? So let's flip those words into the larger concept of life and living. And the question is, how's your life going? Is it full of tricks and disappointments, or is it full of treats and delight? Every day, every moment can be Halloween when we look at it like that. Is the day full of disappointments and tricks, or is the day full of delights and treats? And when I say that, it reminds me of the yin yang symbol. And I think we all know that very well. It's a circle. And then it has a slightly wavy line down the center. And on the one side, it's black and it has a white dot. And on the other side, it is white and has a black dot. And it's a place of looking for balance between, I'm going to say opposites, tricks, treat, rough, smooth, sad, happy, losses and troubles, wins and delights. And it is left for us to learn how to walk on that line of balance between the two. There are times when everything just goes your way and you just say, oh, yes, 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 today's the day. I'm going to remember this day. And there are other days we wake up and we don't feel real good. And that was the high point of the day. And our day just seems to go lower and lower for the whole day. The question becomes, can we be peaceful and loving when it appears that our life or the situation is falling apart? And I'll give you an example of that. This week, I picked the mail out of my mailbox, and It was my neighbor's mail. There wasn't even one thing for me. And I thought, oh, okay. So I walked it over to my neighbor's house next door, and she came to the door, and I said, hey, the postman left your mail and I'm bringing it over. She looked at me. Now I'm standing there with an open heart full of love, and she got vehemently angry because 3 months prior to that, I had inadvertently opened their mail, and I was on the third one before I realized it wasn't addressed to me. I did not, look at the address before I opened them. I mean, I live by myself. Everything's going to be for me, so I never thought to. I went over to give them their mail and tell them what happened. Nobody came to the door, which doesn't mean anything. So I just wrote on it, I am so sorry, I opened these by mistake, please forgive me. And then put them in the mailbox, didn't think anything more. She was so angry. And to the point that I had my hand on my heart and I had my hand up here, looking at her. And I said, I explained what happened, and the anger that I felt coming towards me was absolutely incredible. And she finally said, well, I call our attorney. And she said, that's unacceptable. It's totally unacceptable. And if you ever even dare to do this, which I thought was interesting, if you ever even dare to do this again, we're going to report you to the police. This is a crime. And I apologized. She kept talking. So the third time when I apologized, I said, I am so sorry. I do need to leave now because I have things I have to do. And I smiled and I walked away. Got back into my house. And I was almost in a state of shock. I mean, what? I thought we had a good relationship with our neighbors. Maybe I don't. And I walked in and I thought, well, what to do? And I immediately walked out onto the deck. And I just stood there and looked at nature. And I focused on my breathing, and very slowly I could feel my body very slowly, excuse me, very slowly I could feel my body settling down. And it was like, oh my goodness. Now, I had a choice there. I could have come home and said, why is this happening? What's going on here? That's not the right question to be asking. That keeps us in the problem. We want to get out of the problem. We want to get into the solution. And so rather than looking at that, I asked the question, here's an opportunity for me to learn something. Now think about that. If I get into the problem and begin talking about the problem, that's a negative energy. Negative energy brings our energy down. So by saying it in a different way, I can open the energy up. So my question was, what do I learn from this? What do I need to change? What do I need to be doing? And as I started to focus on that, the energy opened up, and I mean, simple. And I said it earlier, I need to check the check the address on everything that comes to the house. I mean, simple solution, not a big deal, but it was like, okay. And as soon as I got that answer, the energy opened up and I was on my way. So we have that all the time. To be able to be in the world, but not of the world. So we can be in the world, in our presence, in our love for other people. And it doesn't mean that we just accept everything that's going on and not do anything about it. But what it is how can what is it that I can do? What is it that I can learn? And when we look at that, we are constantly in a place of expansion. And since the whole universe is based on quantum physics and you're either contracting or expanding, guess what? We are expanding, our energy is expanding, and we begin to get, if you will, more treats in our life than we do tricks. And when the tricks come up, we are able to handle them. The other thing that I think is very important with this is the fact that as we use our ability to shift and change out of a problem into a solution, an opportunity for learning, we can also, there's a ripple down effect with that, within our family and within our friends. And I can give you an example of that. Last night, I got a call from my oldest daughter, and she says, "Mom, I have to tell you something. It looks like my husband is probably going to be admitted to the hospital on Monday. And I just wanted to give you a heads up." She said, "What was going on?" She said, "We're going to wait till Monday because it's, Saturday evening, and for him to go into the emergency room, he's just going to, not a whole lot is going to be done. It's easier for him to call his physician on Monday morning and say, this is what's going on." And she said, "We already know that his physician which is up in Cleveland Clinic, is going to say, hey, you better come on in. We need to check you out." And then she said something that really brought tears to my eyes. And she said, "Mom, you've done such a great job in helping me to," these are her words, "to see the positive side, to see the possibilities, to see the one step at a time. Let's have a plan. If the plan isn't working, we change the plan. But knowing that," she says, "it's like I get comfort from that. And when the thoughts come in of the what ifs and all, I can just say, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to look at nature." And I got off the phone and I thought, wow, and that is the first time that either of my daughters have ever acknowledged anything like that. And it really, I went to bed and I thought, what a beautiful gift. What a beautiful gift to assist my daughters in being able to step back, have things be a learning experience, and to keep their energy high. So I invite you to, when you get into an unexpected situation, do your breathing, put your hand on your heart, get out of it as quickly as possible, and look at it as a learning experience. And you will have, when you do that, you will have more treats than you could ever imagine. So thank you so much for your kind attention today. It's been both my honor and pleasure to share my thoughts and insights with you. Walk in the light with an open heart. Many blessings. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol Ann. That is beautiful. I really love the fact that your daughters actually are saying to you exactly what you do for us all the time, which is remind us of the beauty, to try to find the positive parts in life, whatever it may be, even if it's not exactly what you want it to be at the moment, there's something there for us to learn. And I really appreciate that about you because it just reminds me so much of that. And I'm glad they're telling you that they recognize that's a gift. So um,
Oh, thank you. You know, it reminds me, one time I saw a picture of a farmer and he was out in the middle of a barren field. And it was before they had, all the machinery and all. And he had a bag slung over his shoulder and it had seeds in it, and he was throwing the seeds out to plant the large acreage. And in front of him, you saw the barren field that had been tilled and him throwing his seeds. And behind him, everything was already grown. And when you were saying that, it's like, oh, the farmer needs to turn around and see how much has been accomplished. So thank you for that.
appreciate that. Anybody else have any comments or questions for Carol Ann?
Well, it was wonderful. I don't give out candy anymore. In fact, this is the first time I lived in a neighborhood, and it didn't seem they had trick or treat yesterday, but it didn't seem like there was many kids going around. But I ducked out of participating because I don't like to give candy to kids because they ruined my teeth when I was a kid. But I had a whole week of tricks and treats, and one of my treats was got a new car. Let me see if I can show you my car here. You can see it.
Very nice.
Nice, yes.
2006 Chevy Malibu with only 89,000 miles on it.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness, that's great.
Took a whole day to search that out and find the deal and run over in less than 10 minutes after I talked to the guy and stake it out. But then I also had a wedding at this beautiful chapel. I've never seen anything like it way out in the sticks. That has no congregants anymore. They all moved away, and so it became an event center. They just use it for special things. But they even added a wing for bed and breakfast for the couple to stay in the night before and after, and with a kitchen and a dining room table, and it's really outfitted. Gorgeous stained glass windows and wooden pews, and anyway, that went nicely, but it was quite a drive. And by the way, the robe was fine. That was great. They liked that. But then I had overdid it last weekend with partying and this and that, and got so this week I've been fighting that all week. So that was my trick, But yeah, you ebb and flow with the tricks and the treats and make the best of it.
We had a gentleman on our street that gave out nickels.
Yeah.
And you think back in the 50s and, that was something to get a nickel, but he only gave out a nickel if he knew you.
Mm-hmm.
And I would marvel at the fact that my costume was so great that he didn't recognize me. And and I'd say, no, you know me. And my parents, I go home and say, about Mr. Woods, my costume was so great, he didn't recognize me. And they said, wow, that's pretty cool. And, looking back on it, realizing what fun he was having with the kids and saying, do I know you? Are you sure? Where do you live?
I haven't seen you around the neighborhood before.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, no. I've been here. I say hello to you every morning. You sit on your front porch and you have coffee, and I go to school and I say, hi, Mr. Woods. And he said, what's your name again? I mean, it just, those type of interactions, look what they do for us. Look what they do for children. I mean, it's such a healthy type of interaction. And, I really encourage the kids in the neighborhood. I talk to them and they come over and tell me stories. And the one little boy, when he learned how to read, he came over with his book and read his book to me, and he got done and he had a big sigh and he said, "Want me to read it again?" And I said,
Oh,
"Okay, you read it again while I read, okay?" Yeah,
how wonderful.
those
That's
are the
great.
types of interactions that we need to be really fostering and growing again. That kind of connections, that's where health is. And they are certainly, that is where our wealth is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm going to turn this over to John to do a song now. So you'll have to take you off of mute. There you go.
I knew about that. I just put it away where I couldn't reach it very fast. Mute button. All right, this is a new song, and I got another one a little bit later, and I'm auditioning this one as a possible alternative opening song, perhaps, or closing, and then the other one is an alternative closing song. So this one is just kind of a fun song, not a lot of importance to it, but it's fun. It's called "Why Don't We Stay?" If you know of someplace else to go, my thinking is, why don't we stay? Can you think of anywhere to be besides right here? Why don't we stay here the whole day? Why don't we keep this going all day long? Hey, 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 what do you say? Can you think of someplace that beats where we are? Why don't we stay another day? The music's good, the folks are better, and it's great fun to be together. There's nothing seeming to go wrong. Let's keep doing what we are until we have to go afar, with no more changes than from song to song. Why don't we keep this going all day long? Hey, 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 what do you say? Can you think of someplace that beats where we are? Why don't we stay another day? Why don't we keep this going all day long? Hey, 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 what do you say? Can you think of someplace that beats where we are? Why don't we stay another day? Even if you know of any place to go, why don't we just stay here anyway? I can't think of anywhere to be besides right here. Why don't we stay here the whole day? Then why don't we stay another day?
All right. Thank you. I like that. And the sound was really good. The music sounded really good.
Oh, good.
So that's wonderful. Okay, so it is that time where we have the opportunity to give. You can do that through Zelle by going to sscofakron@gmail.com. That is through Zelle at sscofakron@gmail.com. or you can send a check like Carol Ann does and send it to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44310. And we'll make sure that it gets in our account and go from there. So let's just recognize, put our right hand over top of left, and know that all that we give, all that we receive, all that we have, all that we give, all that we receive is blessed in a very special way. And that it goes not only to the work of Summit Sinners, it also goes to back to the giver in a very special way, 10 times or more. So with that, I give thanks. Amen. Okay, so announcements. No, good and more good. I know I was missing something.
Good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Unlimited, infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. Good crowds itself upon us, wraps itself around us. Give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. Oh, good and more good is ours, and ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is.
All right, thank you, John. And announcements. I know Michael would say to check out the New Thought Media Network. He has a show on Friday nights. He'll be doing a show tonight at 8 with one of his people that I know he talks about prosperity. So he's good. Jim Webb, I believe is his name. Then John or Carol Ann or anybody else have any other announcements?
Well, yeswise.com. I have my monthly chat on Wednesday, and all kinds of things going on in the world and in our lives, and we might want to discuss that. That's at 9 p.m. on Wednesday evening, and you can get the login information at yeswise.com. It's a Zoom meeting like this.
All right. Thank you, John. Anything from you, Carol Ann?
Yeah, finished the recordings for the classes for the first set of classes for the holistic nursing organization in Japan. So very excited about that. And now it's in editing. And as soon as that's done, we're going to send them off to Japan. And really, with everything that's going on in the world, they're arriving at a great time, you know, that perfect timing that the universe has. And I am looking to do fall programming, and I'll have more information about that coming up shortly.
Okay, wonderful. All
Yeah,
right.
I want to mention my upcoming program, the Grandpa John Show, which I think I'll be starting in about a week, and I'll have the details Wednesday evening at that chat, or you can find them at yeswise.com whenever they are posted.
Oh, wonderful. Do you know what day you're going to do it? Or
I think I'm going to do it on Thursday. It'll be open. I haven't quite decided, but I think I might do it on Rumble rather than Zoom. I don't have to. Although Zoom just upgraded, that might
Yep.
be one.
That was a big
Although I
upgrade.
forgot to turn on original sound for the first two songs, so I don't know if they came out on terrible or not. But Zoom just evidently sent me an upgrade. I don't know.
wonderful.
So we'll see. I'm decided where to place it, but then it'll also be recorded, I think, and you can watch it at any time of your leisure.
All right. That's wonderful. Okay, so I don't think there's any more announcements at this point. So let's do well, you know what? I got to turn it on. There we go. All right. So I'm going to ring the bell, and I want you to take a moment for silence, and we're going to bring into our hearts and minds anybody who may need some healing, whether it's an individual, yourself, or the world. And we just know that it is happening right here and right now. All right. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. John?
All right. Again, this is a new song as a
Mhm.
candidate for a closing song. It's called, actually, you've heard the song before as a meditation. This is the perkier version that we'll see how it goes as a closer. Love is real. Love is true. We are love, living as me and you. We are awareness. Awareness is true. Awareness is real. Present as me and you. Peace is real. Peace is true. We are peace, living as me and you. We are awareness. Awareness is true. Awareness is real. Present as me and you. Joy is real. Joy is true. We are joy, living as me and you. Love is real. Love is true. We are love, living as me and you. We are awareness. Awareness is true. Awareness is real. Present as me and you. Present as me and you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And please join us again next week, 10:30. And Hannah, you can stop our